Hello, this is Michael from Blue Gem Tarot. Today's episode, pick a card reading, is going to be called What Are People Afraid to Lose About You? This is going to be a reading that is meant to expose the unspoken gratitude, recognition, and appreciation that people are just not ready to say or express due to the fact that, the circumstances are not right in their eyes or in their perception. Well, because this is like a fear aspect that's going to be brought to the surface, these are the even unconscious things I'm going to be delving into. So you can expect to be surprised in very good ways because I'm very sure people are very used to accepting and living on and thriving on the positives that others around them provide, and they can only appreciate those once they are gone. So yeah, I was thinking I would expand on the understanding of this topic. uh, okay, now for the selection for this one, we have as usual three piles. My readings are timeless. Whenever you find them, it's meant for you, and it's meant for you especially if it resonates in the majority of the information you'll find. The first pile is going to be linked to the Eiffel Tower. The second pile is going to be linked to the three turtles. And the third pile is going to be linked to the Aladdin's lamp. You will be having the timestamps in the description section as well as in the comment section. I'll make sure to pin it for you so you can easily access it. As well, you'll be having in both sections, both description and comments, below the link for connections. Oh my god, for donations if you want to support me, my channel, and my mission. Yeah, and I also added some subdivisions for the reading. You'll be having the security you provide to people. Second will be unique role you fulfill. We'll delve into some various aspects from that side of things as well. And third, we've got irreplaceable inspiration you bring, or the inspiration that you bring. Um, okay, now let's begin the reading with pile number one. Okay, this is going to be pile number one. You chose the Eiffel Tower. And the first card you got, that is going to be the central theme or a very important card into the reading, is the dog card. This is a loyalty card for me, and from the classical description, I want to say this is quite impressive because this is rare, okay? This is talking about basically an energy of loyalty and admiration, and what I can feel also is a type of gratitude for the fact that you are with them or that you were with them, because you'll have in here aspects or people. I will be picking up on energies from like people from your past as well in here, and I feel like this energy stands out. In what way? Well, I feel like, with the dog card and the jungle that's being represented in the background, I feel like people are very attached and afraid to lose that loyalty of yours. We've gotten here as well persistent, so seemingly in here it could be even like loyalty or persistence in loyalty. So you could be a very like fiercely loyal person, and in general a very dedicated individual. That is something people are very afraid to lose. And why as well, I saw in here was fortunate, yeah. Was some sort of aspect of it being very, very rare. I will get back to it when I find it. But yeah, it's the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, I remember like when I was shuffling the cards, this card gave me the feeling of, I don't know who pile number one is or what, but it's like I don't even care what relationships I've got with them, but they have to be in my life. Like I was channeling that kind of stuff. Or, you know, There is also a funny, interesting element with a sailor in reverse. It's like you cannot be like brought um, or ordered, both in the aspect of like you cannot manipulate life to find someone like you, and you cannot make it happen. Like it's a gift. It's truly a gift to have pile number one in a relationship with people, Um, interesting because you got in here as well creepy and sober. I feel like this is funny because of the sober. It could be even that you are the sober friend in parties or stuff like that. I feel like also you're a truth teller because of the deceptive. You could be filtering a lot of relationships that are based on the criteria of this person being whether like they are truthful or if they are lying, or if they are really having like a true sincere and pure heart. Like if you're going to encounter that, you're going to most likely keep that person. And when I say most likely, it could also be that you try your best to bring the best and the most beautiful elements in like people, even if they could be deceptive. I feel like you even could be friends with people not because of the benefits, but you could be like, yeah, I know this person is not good, but so long as it doesn't hurt me, I don't feel like I should be like specifically going for them. Yeah, it's very, let's say, specific as a message. Why the creepy though? Like this is interesting because I invite the I invite specifically the messages that would uplift you, inspire, and validate you, Of course, I won't steer away from telling you the truth and important things, but in here with the creepy, I feel like this is again an element of attachment that's kind of seeping through the reading, and I can't believe how fascinatingly like attached people get when it comes to the relationship with you. And it's like people want to grasp more of you, like more than you can give or more than you give them, and you like gatekeep in a way, but you are very discerning about it. um what are people afraid to lose? Nine of Pentacles. I feel like this is genuinely a pile who's capable of counseling people for some reason and also opening their eyes. Why I say that? Because we haven't here the storyteller in reverse, viewpoints, and control. I feel like you're that kind of friend who's going to be like advising the person to like to the last possible moment, or it's as if you're going to be like angel who's going to counsel and try to help the person to the best of your capacity, even though you could understand that the person could be going downhill or could be facing their downfall because of some decision. Well, it's very interesting how almost your relationship is being regarded as precious and beyond, almost like an element is coming through. God protects me through pile number one. And why I say it? Because there is just too much purity in the way in which you care for the people that you love. And for you, it's not going to be like, unfortunately, this is not going to be quite a huge deal, though I could understand why this is the case. I want to say it's just fascinating. I don't know. For you, it's so normal to be like this. For others, or from an universal standpoint, that's very valued, okay? For you, it could be something as simple as, again, helping someone out or guiding them. But for these people, they could feel like, pile number one has got my back, and this person is like a god sent into my life, that kind of thing. The fortunate, again, elements of I feel lucky to have them. I feel lucky um, to have stumbled across them somehow, And it's like, people, I see some sort of a dream in here from a person, or it could be even groups of people, in this case, most likely, by the way, where they've had moments in life where they were deceived and they thought like, that's so disgustingly disappointing, and I wish I could have a loyal person. And you showed up, it's like you came there, you came in that space of lack and desperation and scarcity, and it was not even like an explosive "I'm here, acknowledge me" moment. No, it's very strange how people like, it's not strange, it's just strange how it comes to me like this information. People are just looking, they observe the ways in which you behave, and they can understand that they can universally, let's say, pick up on a lot of green flags. And it could be like literally very small things that speak about your virtue in this case. And sober is like, you could be a very serious person in general. With creepy as well, it could be the fact that people can regard you as maybe too serious, but for the good cause. I feel like this pile is not boring. Why it's not boring? Because it's very soulful. Like, I can feel a lot of soulfulness that's going through, and like a loyal person. The sailor again, something about you makes people think there is no need to go out there and look for the person. There is no need to go out there and seek and filter and try to basically like, let's count a friend, like let's go on a site for like finding friends or best friends or something like this. There is no need, because I've got pile number one, and you are being seen as a very like, not only resourceful, but they've got my back, reliable and very valuable relationship to have. Not in vain, we also have this Four of Pentacles, so this is again loyalty and wanting to retain you. With the Justice card in reverse, I feel like you are a very diplomatic person. This is going to resonate with people from the like identification side of the reading, like if you can identify with those. But as well, people do kind of think at times that you are like, they are afraid to upset you, okay? Because we have in here the Justice card and the Sun card, Sun in upright and Justice in reverse, it could be that people sometimes wonder whether they did something wrong, or maybe they didn't give you enough, or perhaps like they are afraid that they don't have anything to bring or give you back in return. It's like, I would feel like this pile is capable of dedicating themselves to people to such an extent, in such depth, that people are left wondering like, and what am I going to bring to the table? I can find in here as well an element of addiction, or people just wanting to be very close to such an extent that it's a bit suffocating. But yeah, it's Ace of Cups. This is like, and in reverse, this is a bit like clingy energy, I would say. I want to also mention in here that with the Four of Cups in here, people understand that you are very resourceful, and some of them even wonder like, why why would why would they need me, like, why would they need me, like, why are they so nice to me, like, why are they like, someone is wondering why you're wasting time on them. Unfortunately, like, this is what I pick up on. There is also message going on like, I'm afraid to lose them because I won't be able to find someone else like you, or you're irreplaceable. There is like a message of you being irreplaceable that's going on in here, and people feeling unworthy of your connection also. With the void in here that's being represented in the persistent card, I can go ahead and say that you occupy a space, and once you're gone, this space needs to be replaced, but the, like, let's say persistent thought in this case is going to be like, and who do I replace them with, you know? I can also channel on some sort of, like, from the persistent card. This could be like not rituals, but some sort of repetitive activities that you've been doing with people to such an extent that it grew into their personality, and you've got like this hangout moments with people, and they're very valuable to them. Okay, those moments are very valuable and it sticks to them, like it's almost like a part of their personality. Those activities when you go out for shopping, for example, or you go have some tea, or you just go together and hang out. Like this is some sort of repetitive routine things that people like look forward to experience with you, and it's like they don't want this to be gone, or they wouldn't be able to cope with the absence of this. Interesting. Like it's fascinating how if you can single out on one card and basically ask the question for each and what message is going on in here. Like it's so specific, it's actually scary. The creepy. Now the creepy reminds me of those nights when you're alone and you cannot like you feel alone, and when you've got like this moments of silence and stuff, it's like this loneliness kind of rings into your ears sometimes. Like you can have those moments in life, but in general, with the creepy, I want to say the amount of like loneliness, or it's your presence brings some sort of renewal, or like I'm glad to be with them, I'm glad to be with pile number one, I'm glad, like it's there is no void. Okay, there is no void when you are present. That's something I can pick up on as well. um there is in here something very funny about seriousness that I'm gonna be mentioning from the sober card. It's like, if pile number one is going to leave my life, then I'm gonna feel like a small child who's not going to be able to stand up for myself, who's not going to be able to stand up for themselves, or I wouldn't be able to organize myself and be serious or think about the right things or the right causes, just like pile number one instructed me to do so. I can see in here a lot of people wanting to ask your advice, but they can't because you're gone. Okay, with the deceptive, I feel like you have been able to counsel a lot of people. This is so interesting. I can't believe this. Um, it's like you can open people's eyes in regards to the actions, to the what they should be doing, in life. Once you're gone, this is no longer in the, like, people genuinely feel lost. There is also with the fortunate, that feeling of being at the right time in the right space. Well, definitely talking about pile number one as well. People can specifically recall the moments that they want something, or they were instructed to do something that you said, and they were brought like a very good result and an unexpected like benefit almost. It's almost like you'd be going, like, for example, you'd be going at a lottery or something, and you'd have pile number one choose the numbers, or do the whole thing, and all of the sudden you have all these like lucky moments when you lose, when not when you lose, oh my god, when you win something. Okay, and it's like people would be deliberately giving you like tickets, giving you the opportunity to buy the tickets so that they can go and you know win with those. And I don't know, this is very interesting. Like, do let me know what's going on, but this makes me feel like your presence brings possibilities or key elements, such as this person could be going at an interview for a job, and you'd be present, and the company could see you there, and all of the sudden they could pick up on that very like good energy and reliable energy, serious energy, that you like somehow nest into the person. and they think, look, they've got like a friend, like a decent friend, something like this, and all of a sudden they have this benefit. Okay? Or you'd be going for like you'd be going shopping, or you'd be going in a like cafeteria or something, and the barista would be like, yeah, take these cookies because they're on the house. That's like the kind of, I don't know, it feels like the world, the universe is trying to gift you things. It's trying to offer you things like for free, just because of that, like luck energy or fortunate energy, like as well being present at the right space, and in like at the right place in the right time. Okay, something is happening with my words today, but yeah. um let's go to subdivisions in here. uh you have the first, that would be the security you provide. um you have the Four of Pentacles. About your relationships, there is like this security of this is one of a kind. Also, the Four of Cups makes me feel like this is also like a no card or a depression type of card. Well, in this case, that would mean like I can feel like people are like settling. Somehow there is like a settling energy. There is like, I'm ready to settle because I have pile number one. Okay. I want to say, it's very, very fascinating how actually like people want to settle down or want to choose you and don't want anything else. Okay, or they can recognize something about you that's so valuable and that's so like fulfilling for them that they are no longer wanting to look back or to look elsewhere. Okay, there is like this genuine happiness and joy in the security of knowing that I can wake up and be with them, or I can wake up and I know they're like in my contacts. I know like I'm in good terms or in good graces with them. Like that's the Four of Cups in here. The energy I can pick up on is like this joy and this recollection of the fact that I can go out, hang out. I can go and hang out with them anytime. I have this freedom, I have this joy. um Not gonna lie though, it's going to feel like sometimes it's going to be a bit suffocating, and you could even like at times wonder whether you want freedom, because you'll be having people like clinging on you. Okay. um Emperor in reverse, that would be the security you provide. This reminds me of like disarming for some reason. It's like, this is interesting how at the start of the relationship or in the beginning of the relationship, it's going to feel like people could be a little bit guarded, or you'll find people not telling everything, or you'll even expect to encounter people who just like unfortunately behave in ways in which you don't deserve to be treated, but it's because they can like come to you with like a preconceived notion or stereotypical behavior that they can like adhere to because they want to protect themselves. But with the Emperor in reverse, I feel like there is also an element of them dropping their guard, or tearing their guard down and really expressing some genuine things to you. This is talking about opening up and stuff related to this. Now, unique role that you fulfill. You have in here the Queen of Wands, so this goes two ways. um, or many even will have both, or some of you will have even one. uh, the Queen of Wands, it's the spark and the fire. It's like the inspiration in here that I can also pick up on. It's like people want to move mountains with you when they're like when you are on their side. It's also, with the Queen of Wands, this could be like an SUL aspect for some of you, regarding the people that you have like if you have crushes, or if you are, let's say, specifically in a relationship in this case, well, you'll be having that energy coming from your partner. Or if you're not in a relationship, then it will feel like, the person who's going to be with you is going to be very like passionate and very happy to wake up in the morning and see you. Okay. um Four of Wands, this is also celebration, happy moments, or stability in a relationship in this case. Well, the unique role is literally, this is talking about wife or husband material, not gonna lie. And Eight of Cups in reverse, I feel like there is not even going to be like a moment of hesitation or thinking that they should be leaving you or something. There is like, this pile brings too much to the table to be regarded, like to even be thought of like, yeah, we should leave. No, it's like, this is interesting. Like, I've come across this energy very like rarely, but you are very, let's say, no, also not quite so, but never mind. You're very like self-reliant and independent in a way. And there are like people who are like minus, those are like the vampires, the people who like to talk a lot and to basically drain you from your energy. Well, in this case, it feels like you are a plus person and you're just there like blooming and blossoming and stuff like that. You just don't need a lot of attention and stuff from people, but they're like all over the place and they're looking out for you. Okay. It's like people want to offer you things, but you're like, yeah, I think I'm better off with my own stuff. um well, it's just, um you cannot even like wonder or something. That pile number one is very attractive and alluring and magnetic in this case. Also from the four of and pentacles and whatever, and the Four of Wands in here is going to be like, let's build something together. Let's set a foundation together. Like, let's bring something long term. Let's build something long term in this case. um The next category is going to cover the irreplaceable inspiration that you bring, or the inspiration that you bring. You've got the Lovers. In reverse, however, this is interesting. It's almost like too good to be true, or you will even somehow encounter people who are already in a relationship. They're kind of dissatisfied, but they could be looking forward to you, like they could be looking forward to connecting with you or something like this. I just feel like this pile would get a lot of like looks and stuff like this, but it's going to be like impossible to make it happen, or just like obstacles in the way of having a relationship with you. Or it's like you're not meant for everyone, and people could stare as much as they want, but you're not going to be accessible. It's that kind of energy as well. um With inspiration as well, this could be talking about an element of people regard you as an example, or as someone who they would look forward to. Like, you have, like, again, husband or wife material. This is like about pile number one. So they would be like looking forward to studying you in a way, so that they can define and understand the qualities of yours, because they want to have that in a relationship, or because they want to have that in general, like as an expectation from the people that they would want to have a relationship with. And this is regardless of the status. Interesting, because the Lovers is more so like, romance and stuff. No, I feel like there is, in this case, an element of universality, where this pile is going to be regarded as, they are good to have regardless of the relationship status. Also, with the King of Cups, I feel like this is a very long term thing, information that I came across right now. Um, there is gratitude and inspiration that's being like layered in the long term with the King of Cups in here, meaning that people almost like save up and like accumulate the energy and the gratitude they have towards you, and it seems to be manifesting as gifts and like, well, like very like beautiful compliments or gestures in your like direction or something. It makes also people like want to show up for you with the Eight of Swords. um I want to say there's like an energy of I want to live again, because I can see pile number one, or I it's worth living knowing that pile number one is around, or you kind of make people like want to move forward. Or it's interesting because it's not that many relationships or people they can come across that is basically going to make them feel alive. Well, this pile is someone who's capable of bringing people like back to life somehow, you know? I do see in here also people looking forward to you teaching them. I don't know what's going on. Um, of course, you can never know who's going to find these, but it's like people just want to step out of their shell and they are like willing to make it so, to make it happen because they can feel emotionally alive. Um, it's almost like you create this willingness to live by the way in which you treat people, and you treat people very like, let's be honest, like this pile treats people fairly. And that is something, it's almost not even like, not even love bombing, or it's not like you're like an angel that came from the sky or something, though who knows, I don't know what's going on. um it's just, at the end of the reading, it makes me feel like it's just the small but very precise, sharp, and just small gestures of compassion and empathy and kindness that seems to be waking people up and driving them crazy, thinking that, that's the thing that I was missing, that's the energy I was craving, or, I thought that I'm faulty or stuff like that, but pile number one showed me that all I needed was a little bit of respect and someone to believe in me. And yeah, it's basically like what I can pick up on. It's like fascinating how you just like, you don't even need to explode, or you don't need to be present in every single person's life. All you have to do, and what you did so far, was be present and welcome and love the person you have in front of you. And that was enough to move mountains within them. Okay. So, yeah, I think that's all pile number one. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope really it resonated and you found some interesting moments that or information or key insights that were like important and let's say life changing. I hope so. um Please do not forget to like the video, comment below that you are pile number one, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And make sure to check out my old videos as well, and if you want to donate, you can find the links in the description or the comments, or both. If you want to donate, that's okay. If not, that's also okay. Thank you so much in advance for all of the support and all of the ways in which you've shown that support to my channel, and for the beautiful comments. I am genuinely fascinated when I open the comment section. It's like, really, I can see that there are some negative ones, but that's okay, because yeah, it happens. That's that's a real part of life. Okay. And sometimes it's upsetting, but sometimes, like, at first it could be upsetting a bit, when you find it like in not the best of moods, let's be honest. But then when you come back the next day and you decide to be like, yeah, I will read that because I have to deal with that comment in a way, and then you just, I don't know, find it funny, or you find it interesting because you were in that mood yesterday, and you have this completely new perspective. And it's fascinating how, an analysis from yesterday could bring some insight even from a negative comment, and when you think about it, it's like a comment that was meant to bring you down, but in the end it gave you an insight. So it was something that like brought you like closer to what you wanted, but still it's not a fun experience, you know. It's not one it's not one as much as you'd like to basically like cover it up at times, but mean comments are going to be mean comments despite everything. But that's okay, because yeah, why I expanded on this, I have no idea, but maybe I should have. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the future readings. Take care. Okay, welcome pile number two. Let's see what are people secretly afraid to lose about you. Uh, the first card that's going to represent the whole thing is going to be the ship. Now, I don't know why specifically, but this is this is very interesting. It's about luxury, it's about some sort of lavish lifestyle or thing. Now, you tell me what's going on, but why does this pile give me the impression that, and that's not even a question, that's like an affirmation in this case. A very expensive pile, okay? Why? The ship card in and of itself suggests that, you know, as a description, it's like a person or you being someone who can afford to travel, or this is talking about someone who's capable of introducing change or mobility into their life because they are wealthy. Okay, as simple as that. It's also someone who's not afraid to be flexible in their foundation because they are wealthy. Again, donut, rebellious, sleazy. I have to look that up because I have no idea what it means. Just give me a moment. Okay, that was that was an enlightening experience. Okay. Sometimes I wonder like why these cards, like these words even exist, but I think I'm gonna be dealing with that later. Okay. Now, this pile, it feels like inherently you just like you have like an expensive attitude, and this expensive attitude allows you to think big. And trust me when I say it, the sleazy and rebellious, they are close together, and I feel like this is for a very specific reason. I feel like in general people are going to call you in life a person who either is like an opportunist or someone who has like a very expensive taste and is unreasonable in their spendings, though I want to say there is like a such a huge element of self-love and like a reasonable one mixed in the whole thing. Why I'm saying that, I feel like there is no benefit in me saying like you should live a small life. As simple as that. Quite literally, I want to encourage you to think in that mindset because it invites, like, of course, not into the consumerist type of mindset, but I feel like you are deserving of expensive things, expensive, because that sets like the tone for your impact into this world, and it sets like an example to other people. And you know, if you're going to be cheap, it feels like this pile is going to be like limiting themselves. I feel like such a, you know, that irresponsibly like financially irresponsible friend. Like I feel like this friend like giving advice right now, like go spend your money, like go travel the world and basically don't care for the consequences or for the money. Like that's so funny because I saw a meme on that. But no, I want to balance this message and say you do have like a gossip of sorts with sleazy, or it's like this card and rebellious. It's like people say like you are on your own mind and you don't care for expenses and you cannot save a thing. I feel like this cannot be farther from the truth. And I almost also feel like these are the people who are very envious. I know I've heard like the sleazy word like refers to something that's not necessarily morally right. Like that's what I found on the internet, and I feel like this is all talking about the lifestyle thing, but hear me out. Like this is gossip. This is like the stuff that's being talked about you. You have to keep on loving yourself and loving yourself enough to live this life and not basically accumulate this wealth and not let it circulate. Because the happier you are going to be, the more a beautiful life is going to unfold and the more opportunities you're going to freely invite into your life. So, going back to the topic of what are people like afraid to lose about you, they are afraid to lose that freedom. They are afraid to lose that very like high expectation of a lifestyle that you do have. um I feel like specifically like these two cards I was referring to, like the sleazy one and the I can't believe I'm so like concentrated on that, and rebellious. um you do receive, like, how do you say it, the slanter. You do receive the comments and the whole like, not derogatory, but the negativity, you know. But in the end, you succeed and people are envious of you. Okay, I don't know if I'm all over the place with the words today for some reason, but okay, I think you got what I wanted to say. You know, it's like people unfortunately will call you very lucky, and they will not give you like, you know, that was your achievement. You know, people will say like it's well, it was like your luck or something like this because you were lucky or something. But they are afraid to lose that whole mentality and mindset, like what they don't want to lose, why they're afraid, what they're afraid of losing. um it's basically like a promise for a better life or a promise for something bigger. It's like you would find a lot of people who are stuck in their own ways, stuck in general in life in like a sort of mediocrity mindset. And I feel like you are rebellious in a way in that mentality, and you help them by virtue of like following your own like inner compass. You are setting an example for them, and you could actually trace and see the small like beginning phases to sprout, like the small like seeds in them, that they begin to sprout like with new ideas, with new rebellious and like out of the box things. And I feel like this is so unfair for some reason, because you'd be the person who's going to be receiving like all this hate, all that amount of hate that's going to be directed at you. But in at the end of the day, exactly the people who are judging you, they are going to feel inspired by you. So I feel like this is so unfair because this pile feels very underrated. um they are afraid of losing that freedom. They are afraid of losing that, um again, high expectation. uh they are afraid that if you're going to be gone, then they're going to be stuck like with their own judgment and limitation, and in general like with a very like, let's say, mediocre, let's name it, because it's a very distinct message, like it's a very mediocre life. I feel like there's like a reoccurring message going on, like saying don't stick your nose too high or don't dream too big, stuff like that, which I would find like very, again, dirty in a way, you know. It feels to me like people are just stuck in their own limitation or powerlessness, and they are, you have given them like a sort of a choice or like a hope that you could change those things. And I feel like they're like just there looking, saying, you know, you're just rebellious, you're just not, you're just wanting to be different because whatever. And I don't even want to delve into there because it's like a lot of excuses, you know. There is something about this spell that's very determined, that's very precise, and I know what I want. With the moon card, people just are like looking at you and saying like, how they're so confident, like how do they know precisely what they want from life? Like, tell me. um You inspire a lot of haters, by the way. I want to say this is such a controversial like pile for some reason, because you'd find that you do have like also supporters, but they are kind of your haters in a way. They are like your admirers in one way, and they are also your haters in the other ways. Like these are very like shady people with the moon card. Something is definitely going on where people cannot truly understand whether they are on your side or they are against you. um I see innovation, I see change, I see like a new way, I see a new um possibility of change for the better with your presence into their life. I feel like you are a very innovative person, meaning that, you could be like, you could see some sort of routine being fulfilled in people's lives, and you'd be like, yeah, why don't you just automate it? Or why don't you just change it? Or why can't you just try and like make it easier for you by changing this, that, and the other thing? Literally, this pile is about better and quality results, but with an easier like route to them. And it feels like it's a very logical pile as well. It's like a, let's live this life. Let's not like waste our time and rationalize it, like an action driven pile. And that spontaneity is also something that like people are very afraid to lose. And you've got a lot of attention. Like, that kind of friend who is going to be like, you could travel with this friend like the whole world, that's literally you, okay, in this case. And people are like opening their eyes. Forgive me, but this is so funny. Like, people are like living in boxes, and you're like, let's cut this box out. Let's take you out of this box. Let's travel the world. And again, you'd find these people saying that's impossible. You cannot do that. You cannot make it happen. And you're like, yeah, you can. You can actually, because I can show you. And you don't even show it. You just do it, okay? And you'd also find people who are like, I've achieved this and that, and you're like, yeah, should I even talk about this? Because I did the same thing, but I did plus 20 or 50 or 100 things, and like I'm not even like boasting about this. I don't know, this is someone in here who I'm channeling, because they're like, yeah, better not open my mouth because these people are gonna be a bit shocked. Or about money though, it could be about your income. These people could be like, yeah, I'm like a very important person at work, and you're like, I don't even know if I could call myself like having a job, but trust me, like I can do like, I earn much more than you do, okay? It's like this type of thing where it's like people saying, I have this very like important job, or like I have this very esteemed and responsible role at my company, and you're like, yeah, I'm traveling the world and I feel like the happiest person in the world, and I don't have like an issue work here, and I don't need responsibility like this, and I definitely don't need to boast about it. Case, this is very like, this is so pile number two for some reason. I hope it resonates, because I don't want to feel like I'm talking about whatever. But the donut, it's also simplification in here. Like, this is so funny. Like, I'm channeling literally from one card individually, and I'm like picking up on the information. It's like, let's make things easier, let's make things enjoyable, let's make things, and people are like, yeah, maybe let's make them so, but isn't that kind of like cheating? And you're like, no, that's common sense. Think about it, again. It's like, you should actually, by the way, not gonna lie, this pile feels like you could be influencers or stuff, or you could be people like giving advice or something like this on the internet. I've seen people like, especially like those channels when like girls would apply some sort of makeup, or they would make food, or regardless really of the activity, because it doesn't matter, and they would give life advice, and you'd be like, scrolling or doom scrolling, and then you're like thinking, this person is just like sticking some lashes there and like giving some life advice that would wonderfully apply to my situation, and they do this like with such like an ease, as if it's something like ordinary or something, giving life-changing advice while still cooking or polishing like nails or something like this. Like literally this is like so pile number two. Like it's so relatable. I can't, it's so like funny. And with the donut and with the ship, it's that lavish and that luxurious and that ease in life. I wish I could like bring you into my life, like time travel. I would give you the power to time travel and go like visit me when I was like, I don't know, 10 or 12, and like say this to me, like, go have fun. Like life is about this, and go have fun, because you don't have to be serious. If you're going to be serious, everything will become like this. Of course, in reasonable terms, but I feel like I have so much to learn from this pile, though. It's so funny. Like, mm, the Hierophant in reverse. Let's address this whole thing issue. I feel like I'm channeling an information along the lines of, I remember like what the rules said, or I remember what the instructions said, but what I also do remember is the advice that pile number two gave me. And despite the instruction quite being very logical, I feel like the pile number two's advice was even more logical. It's again the simplification thingy, or people like thinking, we did that whole procedural thing in a way, and here they are, like pile number two saying what we need to do and how we need to simplify it, and how it's gonna be easier if we just did that. Like, yeah, who cares? And they do it, and they realized, oh my god, I was wrong. Pile number two was right, actually. And this is such like a shameful thing, unfortunately, or fortunately, actually fortunately for you, because you could catch people in a lot of like things. I want to say they admit that they are wrong, but in silence. This is so funny. Oh my god. The orator communication, and God knows what is written. Oh, confidence, yeah. In reverse. This is literally them opening their mouth, talking, them shutting the mouth, a moment of silence, then you open your mouth, and then what you say, it's making them feel so dumb. I'm sorry, like, forgive me, forgive my French, but so dumb. And they're like, maybe I shouldn't have opened my mouth to begin with. Okay, like with the orator and the Hierophant, that feeling when you think you know everything and then you open your mouth and then you like say it out loud, and then you have a smarter one like say it in simpler terms, and you're like, yeah, I should update my database, something like this. What you're doing, pile number two, to people, like, this is so I can't. um the spontaneity aspect is going on in here with the Ace of Wands, and Five of Swords, you do have in here envy. There is like this dualistic energy that's going on in here as well, in the form of they want to know, or they want to be a part of your success, but they are also not wanting to see you at the same time because you trigger their envy. But at the same time, they understand that if you're going to be gone from their life, then it's gonna be like, I don't know what they're doing, and I'm not gonna be a part of their success. So you could find like these three intertwined in a way. I wanna say people are like keeping tabs on you big time, and especially they're wanting to see, or they're wanting to check if you do have weaknesses or downfalls, because it feels like you're just too easygoing, and it feels like they're questioning, like, there has to be some sort of like weakness to them or something. What they're also afraid to lose, specifically linked to you, is that outgoing energy that you do provide, is that feeling of I can call them, I can talk to them, I can ask their help, I could ask their friends help or something like this. I would feel like you are very like potent in general with and very active and independent in a way where you don't even need a lot of people to deal with your things or with your problems, because you know you're the best person to address them, but you do have a lot of like connections in general. I want to say people would want to make you their parent in a way, or would want to make you solve their issues, stuff like that. With the Hermit in reverse and the Three of Cups in reverse, it feels like with your departure from their life, they are going to feel like, you know, there is nobody else to basically solve my issues and solve my problems. And also, there is like, again, like a very interesting similar message, just like with pile number one. Go check it out if you want, or if you feel drawn to that pile as well. But counseling aspect is going on in here as well. And you're not deliberately doing that just like pile number one did, but you're just very logical and like very sane somehow and very efficient in your comments to such an extent that it's very like life-saving as an advice. And again, the simplification, the productivity, and the efficiency of your wording and your comments is making it so that people just feel like, you know, if they're going to upset you and you're going to live their life. It's not even about upsetting for this pile, by the way, but still, with like a slight, even like um, link to the idea, or like imagining the scenario of you living their life, they feel powerless and like helpless in a way, because they felt like, you know, always you were the person to lift them up in this case or in this context. Ten of Cups, it could be also that people are afraid to lose on that family aspect, or on that feeling like, you know, they could call you family. You know, I want to say it's very strange that I encounter this very rarely, but they could call you family. They're afraid to lose you. You've got a lot of people who are with a lot of like masks in general. That's coming from the masquerade with hiding your true self and projection. Um, it's not even like personal in a way, but I want you to understand that people, they don't want to be mean towards you, but they are envious, and that's kind of like seeps through. You know, sorry, but I have to mention that it feels like it's almost like bad breath. They want to talk to you, but that envy is like a bad breath that's, it goes like simultaneously with their speech towards you, you know. It's like you could find them in projection, in a lot of like barriers and obstacles to your connection in general. But they're not like bad people, but they're not kind of good people as well. I'm sorry for like speaking on the behalf of these people. Maybe I'm not the best representative for them, but they're not bad. But yeah, they kind of stink in a way, just like bad breath, you know. But yeah, I think I'm not gonna stop there too much, because it's gonna be not like there is not going to be a lot of like whatever good air, you know, in the room. Okay. um let's go to the subdivisions in the reading. We have security you provide, you have strength, the Queen of Swords, and the Two of Swords as well. Strength, it's like in and of itself an element of rebettering or changing or tweaking their life for the better and the most optimal application of their force. Not gonna go there. I'm gonna like keep myself from joking. Okay. Security is like, I know that I'll always have pile number two to tell me what I have to do, say, and where to go and what to make happen. Queen of Swords is like, you could be even texting or messaging these people. They could be like, "Hello, I'm going through that issue, and I'm sorry for rumbling so much." Apparently, that's the rule of the day, just like with pile number one. Queen of Swords, it could be like, I'm they could be messaging you like along the lines of, I'm going through this right now, and you're like, go do that. And they're like, yeah, thank you so much. Like that's exactly what I needed to hear. Like that's so strange because this is like the Queen of Swords. You could be like someone's mommy of swords or daddy or yeah, whatever. It's like in this case, it's that kind of energy, like some people just need your direction, need your last word, need your validation in this case. With security you provide, it's like with the Two of Swords in here, that's a very strange card. It's like almost like people could be like feeling secure in the ways in which they could be annoying you because they know they would get a reaction out of you. Like this is so strange. But I do see in here like some sort of, maybe, I don't know if you like this or not, maybe not, but still. They find it kind of interesting when you are like all like somehow like frustrated or angry. I know this is not quite okay, but whatever message I had to convey today, um, the unique role that you fulfill. You have the Three of Swords, the Six of Swords, and the Nine of Swords. I feel like again this is a very interesting message of you give people some sort of direction and reassurance, but you're kind of tired of giving that thing. Um, the unique role that you provide, for some it could be literally that you are like helping people out, but you're kind of tired of this role. Like I'm tired of solving people's problems and issues in a way. And you could be like, yeah, someone give me a break because I can't even like, I'm tired of this whole BS. That's, and people would be even like, you'd be like to them like a mentor of sorts, but you'd also be like, now pay me, I gave you advice, now pay me, that kind of thing. It could be quite stressful, by the way, because of like a lot of responsibility perhaps in this case, but you're more spontaneous in a way, and it doesn't play well with that character trait, and you're like a bit burdened by the whole um thing of like the story of responsibility or like decision making that's being imposed upon you in a way. Now for the last part in here, the irreplaceable inspiration you bring, or the inspiration that you bring. I want to say you do have like quite a lot of inspiration, both good and bad. This will like be again dualistic type of message. You like create this inner like tumultuous change, or you initiate that inner tumultuous change with that like freshness, with that spark. It's almost like you ignite people from within. um, well, what can I say? They're not going to be very happy about it, at least in the short term. However, I do see them in the long run basically thanking you for that thing, for that service. Though for you, it's like a chore of sorts. The Seven of Cups is basically the literal inspiration card in this case. It's like people get their eyes opened by your participation into their life. With the Two of Cups in here, it's like people would aspire to be like you. People would aspire to basically live up to your whole capacity, or to your whole like power, or to your whole like lifestyle, and like very high expectations. But they're in the Moon card, so they are unfortunately at that level where they are only able to fantasize and envy and not think about how they're able to do it, but more so like ruminate about what's not possible to do and how you are just lucky in life and whatever. But I want to say it's a wonderfully like potent inspiration that you bring, but you won't be given like a note of appreciation or a note of thanks for, thanks for opening my eyes, thanks for giving me like a higher expectation from like a life experience, from life experiences in general. Unfortunately, this is going to be from a scale where, someone is going to even say like, I wish I didn't know this because I was more like happy when I was unconscious, or I was more happy when I didn't have so many like expectations upon me. But generally speaking, I want to say when you walk into people's lives and their views and their whole like inner world and expectations are being changed fundamentally and powerfully for the better. Whether they like it or not, really, it doesn't matter. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. Um, Thank you so much for watching pile number 2. That was a very exciting and quite non-ordinary reading, and I loved it for that. Um, I think you should be given more appreciation in general for the things that you do and not do, and you like irradiate as a result of you being in people's lives. But I guess life is this, and that's the level they like people meet you at. But definitely monetize your advice, because you have a lot of people in here who are like wanting to somehow ask you for more. Like, give me your take on that. Give me your advice. How you would do it. How you would almost like people would want to relinquish their own will and give it to you so that you could decide. And you cannot do that because that's not how it works. But yeah, it's definitely make money out of it because you're gonna make a lot. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you so much for watching. If it resonated, please do like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Make sure to comment below that you're pile number 2, and do tell me how wonderfully tired you are of this whole thing if it resonated with you with the help aspect. Don't forget to check out my old videos as well, and thank you so much in advance. I'm sorry for rambling. Thanks in advance for all the support and love and the good stuff that you direct at my channel. It's very, very wonderfully welcomed and very warmly welcomed. And it's a great honor to be able to read to you. Thank you so much. I hope to see you in the future readings. Take care. Okay, moving on to pile number 3. Pile 1 and 2 were insanely unique, just as usual. That kind of blend of energies you don't find every day, but yeah, it's definitely something. Third pile has the Aladdin's lamp, I guess. This is also like coming from the element it chose. This is like a wish fulfillment or a guarantee of success or a guarantee of something, meaning that pile number 3 is being regarded as like a wish fulfillment in a way because your presence guarantees something into their life, and it could be related to with lilies also some sort of element of luxury, just like from other pile, but also like an element of somehow like aesthetically pleasing or aesthetically refined way. um, what are people afraid to lose? It's literally you in this case, because the lilies, it's a very beautiful, like very refined card to have. Like, congratulations on that, by the way. But I want to go ahead and say that this pile is highly underrated in a way. I feel like you take for granted a lot of the stuff that you basically like identify with, even that beauty, even the with lilies in general, the King of Cups, that's the ways in which you make people feel, and you take these things for granted, okay? I want to say this is like a pile who is not going to be afraid. It's going to be like two things in one, and this is quite the combination, by the way. You have like soft cards, but at the same time explosive cards, and like very explosive cards as well. Um, you have the Tower and Lilies, and also the Queen of Wands. So this is giving me very explosive, fiery energies, just like usual. Pile number 3 never ceases to surprise me. But what are people afraid to lose about you? This is like a reoccurring message from another pile, but this is like, again, lifestyle, and something about this pile makes me feel like you are like a walking legend of sorts. Um, and like one of a kind, very unique, and you like create the narrative in life, and not the narrative created you or creates you in general. Um, for some reason, I saw an image like of like this is more of a metaphor, by the way, but I see people like somehow trying to give flowers to you, or somehow extending gratitude, and you're like, I'm not even tired. Maybe some of you are, but you're like, I don't have time for this. It's like almost like you don't even allow yourself to be at times even appreciated, or even like you don't even want to accept that energy, or maybe you like it but you're like, I'm too busy, or I don't have to have the moment of weakness to accept that, or something like this. You do have in here a lot of admiration, by the way, and you're like, yeah, I don't care, okay. I'm sorry, what is going on? Why is there so much like the spotlight is on you? And not even why. Again, it's not a question, it's a statement, okay? Why does this pile feel really annoyed by that message? It's beyond me. I don't know. It's like I don't have time for this, okay? Oh my god. Um I see in here someone who naturally attracts a lot of attention, okay? Literally calling out pile number 3. But the thing is, it's like I do sense in here like why are you looking at me? Like why are you watching me? Like why don't you just leave me alone? And it's like it's very like paradoxical in a way. Why? Because you would do very like legendary stuff, you know, regardless of the place you're at, but you could be doing like legendary stuff, like speaking up or standing up for yourself. And for you it's not even like a legend or thing, it's like a very reasonable, like if you are respecting yourself you'll do it, okay, like that kind of energy, and you catch people like watching you and saying like, yeah, I wish I could have the bravery and like say the same thing. It's like, go do your work, something like this. I don't know, it's like very strange but very also kind of true, because yeah, I can sense it coming from. And you attract a lot of attention, by the way. It's like why and what people are specifically afraid to lose about you. It's not even the whole entertaining aspect, because this is like a small fraction. It's like people feel like they are leaving, like, it's like the project leader is present, or something like this, the engine of the whole project is present, or you are being regarded like as a center of attention of sorts. But also, like, quite interestingly, you do like it in a way when you are like this, but it's like you don't want to admit it to the world, or it's like a very like some sort of like a story there that's hiding, or something about not being able to accept compliments, or not being able to accept the role fully, or to really like embody it quite well. I just want to say you're not quite receptive to compliments, I guess. And yeah, and to admiration. Okay, I think that's all. Don't click off just yet. But the passion, the drive, the fire, the motivation, the change, even like when you're angry, like I want to say, that kind of scenario when you have one person rallying everyone up and saying like, how could this thing be? And you just go there and solve the issue. And that's literally while number 3. It's like, if there is no order, trust me, I'm gonna make it. Okay, this is like what's going on? What's going on? I don't know. Like literally the embodiment in here of pile number 3, like with one, like literally the representation of the Queen of Wands, like in one hand carrying the bouquet. I was talking about the lilies, and in one hand carrying like a baseball bat, and like I'm gonna be I'm gonna be dealing with it myself, because there is no order in this place. Yeah, I don't know, like um for me to not feel like an insane person, and I'm not, okay, I'm not, because we do have in here the Tower, okay, and we also do have in here the King of Cups. People want to keep you in good graces, but it just cannot be, because there is so much disarray. Just like it feels like just pile number three has to go there and call out a lot of people on it. Okay, it's like pile number three is pile number three be doing the god's work. Okay, with the tower. It's like, I don't know why, but people kind of like it. People like it almost like they like to be somehow like questioned, or like they like the attention. They like your attention, and you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna make my work here. I'm just gonna do it, okay? Just gonna do my work. I'm just gonna like make it work. If it doesn't, I'm gonna I'm gonna make it work with my own hand, with my own sacred hand. I'm gonna make it happen. And people are like, yeah, please don't burn the whole thing down. And you're like, yeah, I will, because it has to be. Someone has to make it happen, okay? Literally. And I also saw in here, oh my god, temperance twice in reverse is like, I wanna say you can be diplomatic, but you can be. I think I think I'm gonna leave you with that comment in that specific section, because I just feel like, you're very calm and stuff at home with your cat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But you're like calm, but like maybe in your own mind or imagination, but just people are like shaken, and like they kind of like it, but they don't. And at the same time, it feels like there is so much action going on in here, in the shadows, and people are like, yeah, let's just eat and watch popcorn. Oh my god, let's just let's just eat popcorn and watch it. Okay, yeah. I wanna say you do catch people by surprise. I think this is the first time I'm caught by surprise by this kind of energy. And look, we have I can't. It's the page of cups. It's like, I'm good. I have good intentions, and I'm not questioning it. But you're intense, okay? I wonder if people know it. The priest in reverse. Should I even stop this? I don't know. It's just so intense. I have this feeling that you have like higher ups or people who are like in higher authority and stuff, and you just walk into the room and say like, why is this thing not working? Why it's not done? Why it's not made? Like why it's not made? Like it's not happening. Like why it's not working? Yeah, such explosive energy. I can't. The sun. Like I don't care. Like I don't care what people think. And I want to say, what people are very afraid of losing is the sense of order that you bring, even though it could be like explosive at first and stuff. I want to say like you're not afraid to call out people, and you're like if you are like a very sweet, afraid to upset people, it could be that this is like a past related thing, because I can see stuff like completely changing, like upside down, and that's literally what I can find in here. Yeah. With justice in reverse, because I do like read cards like this, what I see I channel, but I do have a feeling like justice is going to be served, and I'm gonna serve it, okay? It's like it's gonna be served, but it's not gonna be, I'm gonna be serving it, okay? Literally the energy I can pick up on. And you're like, yeah, why wait when you can make it happen? Okay? Why wait for karma when I can be it? Okay. And I also want to say, um, genuinely, you're no BS in the sense of you like to keep people accountable for their words. You like to make them feel how it's like to not keep your word or something like this. And genuinely, you want people to be honest and good intentioned. And I want to say also, you are like this, but it's like a very like it's a secret of sorts, because of the I want to say the gravity of the circumstances that you could be placed in requires you to be like a lion of sorts, like bashing through things and destroying things with the tower. And what's funny in here, and it's not quite funny though. I don't want this pile lashing out to me because, yeah. But just kidding. But it's very interesting how you cannot even be questioned, or you cannot even be like confronted in a way, because of the whole thing. People understand it quite solidly what you're talking about, and you cannot be necessarily like confronted, because for you to be confronted they would have to have a very solid argument, and they don't. And in this case you are the one who has like the argument in here. I want to say, do speak your words with a lot of power, and for them it's intimidation, but for you it's rightfulness. I want to say, like, the people around you keep on saying like, don't leave, don't go, don't like leave, like, don't leave us to them. I don't know, maybe this is work related, I do not know what's going on in here, but you're not afraid to say what's on your mind, and you're not afraid to call things out, you're not afraid to point to the real issue. And the puppeteer and explanations and apologies in here. I want to say you are like there for just as much or just enough time for them to come back to reality. And this pile is very like also good at exposing manipulation. And with a Fool in reverse, I want to say people crave that direction. People crave as well that like clarity and that force to be reckoned with that you represent. And I want to say like wish fulfillment. I want to say it's like someone was praying or someone was really desiring a change, and then all of a sudden you showed up in this case. Okay, literally this reminds me again of the message of like God sent, or like a person who's deliberately sent on a mission. And you're not hesitant. Like, I don't sense in here hesitation. I sense in here pure determination to make a change or to make a difference and to call out the right people. And you're very non-apologetic about it, because the priest in here like is in reverse. This is the this is like an energy that you'd encounter when this is not divine timing, this is not passivity. Okay, this is like the flip side of that energy, like a god aspect of go make it happen. Okay, this is not about like a person who's going to sit there and wait and watch. This is a person who's going to be like, it has to be changed and I'm gonna be changing it, even if it means nudging it a bit, or even if it's not as powerful as I would expect it or I would want it to be. I want to embody the change. And literally what people are afraid to lose is the whole set of qualities that you bring to the table as a result of you just being present there and you manifesting yourself there into the world. The priest has the perseverance and faith written, and it's all in reverse. At times people could be looking at you and saying like, you are explosive, and like there is no perseverance. Trust me, this pile has so much perseverance. It just looks out in this like weird explosive ways, but I do see in here like a very calculated, methodical way in which you could deploy a strategy or an action plan or an action in general. And I want to say huge impact. This pile creates a huge ripple effect and a huge impact that awakens and basically like somehow sobers people up, because it feels like people are just stuck in a lot of limitation and delusion also, I want to say. What are people afraid to lose about you? King of Swords and Seven of Swords. There is like this feeling when, for example, I don't know, you would call authorities or you would call someone in charge, and they would appear in the designated place and they would like solve the issue. Well, that's exactly again how this pile feels to me and to the people they come in contact with. It's also like, for me, that's an energy I would describe in this way. For you, by the way, it could be so like normal, you don't even see it, or you don't even like compare it to anything else, and you consider it like the norm of the day. I feel like this pile also is not going to comply to a rule and is going to basically question the rule before they could apply it to them and to the rest of the people. You'd be like the most sane and logical person to question and boldly question everything. Okay? Yeah, we do have in here this Seven of Pentacles and the Emperor in reverse. Quite interesting. I want to say there is even an element of inspiration that's going on. If this is work related or if you have like higher ups or organizations, whatever, people do understand you. Like they understand and get exactly what you're talking about. It feels like they're just a bit avoidant or they don't want to listen. I want to say literally this pile reminds me of that exact thing I mentioned, like God sent. I want to say you're specifically placed in situations that are meant to be alchemized, changed, or transformed. And I want to say, as a confirmation, how you're going to know this is about you, you will feel like what's the right thing to do. You'll feel and you will use the right like power elements to shift the situation like in your favor. And in your favor, it cannot be literally in your favor, but it could be like the most sane and the right thing to do. And you won't care as much for the like feelings. If something is detrimental, it cannot be like tolerated. So I feel like, with the Queen of Cups in here in reverse, you're not going to be sitting there being diplomatic or stuff, and you won't turn a blind eye on it as well. Okay, now let's go to the subdivisions before it's too late. Security you provide. From the security you provide, you have the Magician, the Queen of Cups in here, and the Hanged Man. um, Security you provide is quite literally the lack of security you provide in here, because in and of itself the power of this pile is going to imply transforming or having the power to transform the situation where it was dire. We have in here the um, fairy godmother from Cinderella in this representation, and I want to say it's like, the situation there was so critical, it basically like somehow erupted, and there was like this miracle that happened, and Cinderella got her whole outfit changed. The story, well, in here literally it's like the power element is being somehow like brought into the story with the presence of the fairy godmother, like as a rebalancing of sorts in the situation where it was unfair. And you have this like falling star thing. It feels like, again, wish fulfillment. You are meant to, specifically, you are sent to bash through things that are no longer working. Okay. Queen of Cups. I want to say you also wake people up and you face them in their own like insecurity and in their own like, when there is lack of justice, you wake people up and you say like, wake up, like, don't you see that it's not working, that kind of thing. Or don't you see that it's not beneficial? Don't you see that it doesn't work? It doesn't have to be necessarily linked to people in general, but you could be like, why are you repeating it? Like, you're not even afraid to perhaps like upset people, but you're going to be like, why don't you make it work? Okay, why don't you change the tactic if it doesn't work in this case? um there is also this feeling of refreshed or renewal as a result of you changing things. And there is also a feeling like, if pile number 3 is there, then it's gonna work out, it's gonna be changed. If pile number 3 spoke up, then yeah, it's basically gonna happen. The unique role that you provide, it's change factor in here with death card in reverse. It can quite feel also that you can show up when the situation reaches a point of basic like unworkability. I want to say in general, like, the nature of this universe is very gentle, and you could also be quite a gentle person. But again, for some reason the situations in your life brought like this, like, not even violent but very virulent force, or very like effective, energy effective and time effective force that you are being driven by. and you initiate that changes, and the changes that you do ignite and provoke, they are very like liberating to people around you and to the circumstances in and of itself, because it feels like something about you brings freedom as a result of your intervention. And you have in here also the Five of Wands, like a conflict card. Also, like, again, not a surprise, the spiral is not afraid to upset people and to upset situations and to invite like some sort of question like to the table, like, why is this not working, like, let's make it work, let's change things. Yeah. um the next section or category is going to talk about irreplaceable inspiration that you bring. I feel like this is like quite an inspiring pile as well, even though again, even it could be, this literally reminds me of, there are moments in life when external circumstances push us to change things or to initiate change into our lives. And despite us not being quite ready or very grateful to them because we were kind of forced by the circumstance, in the end, we are like quite grateful for it. So, literally, the story of pile number three. It could be a tower moment for people, but it's like a beneficial tower moment in this case. With the sun in here as well, I want to say you are inspirational in the ways in which you bring new tactics or new things to the table that people could follow, and basically, like, they are looking out for your advice or stuff like that from the sun card that's going through. It's almost like this inspiration of how are you seeing things working, or what's the standpoint, what's your perspective on things, on, or how do you see this evolving for the better, or okay, now you unrooted this whole thing, like, how do you see it improving, it's like a very sane mindset that's transpiring as a result of pile number three's intervention. You inspire also people to take action, to make it right by their own hand. They admire this bravery and boldness and insistence on and determination on saying the right words, the right thing, even though for some it could be scary, even though for some it could be like they could be fearful of the consequences or whatever. They are inspired by the freedom and the rallying up that you create as a result of you speaking up. Um, they're also inspired by the whole image of, pile number three is not going to endure. Pile number three is just going to take action. Pile number three is never gonna like stand there and watch. And you bring a lot of inspiration in that regard, because you set an example, and people could be like, most likely I'm gonna like sit there and watch, but because pile number three showed us what's possible and how things could be changed for the better, I want to say you can have this capacity to basically be a bit contagious and share that with your peers. Like, you could make them speak up when they normally wouldn't, or you could make them less enduring with things that they shouldn't endure in general. So that's basically what I can pick up on the three cards with Sun, Justice, and Temperance in reverse. Sometimes in life it just feels like you don't have to just be silent. Sometimes in life you don't have to just stand there and watch. Sometimes in life you just have to take action, and you're like, you have some sort of like history or like experience with that, or in that regard, like you have some self like lived stories or narratives that you could like share and say that would basically, you know expose and narrate in a way that in life you should be taking responsibility and creating things where you see that they are not there. You have to sometimes create them by yourself and take the initiative upon yourself. I want to also go ahead and say, if you listen so far, this is not a one size fits description, because what I have outlined so far was a very strange blend of also vulnerability. I am not saying, by the way, that this pile is not soft in ways, because the lilies in and of itself is a very soft and fragile card. But I want to say it must be something about you from the past that's going through, and that's making you feel like you're a person who lived something through and extracted the right conclusions out of it. And as a result of it, you are now able to irradiate like the example for other people, like the core base example, and just so they don't have to go through the same experience like you would like to aid them and stuff. And you do have a lot of admiration, by the way. I feel like I described everything except what people are afraid to lose about you, but you have to somehow try to understand, like, the information I gave you was, like, in retrospect, a sort of a snapshot or a screenshot, whatever, of what is making it making it so that people feel liberated, free, and refreshed, and they feel the freedom as a result of you participating and being active in their lives, in your life, and in the shared lives in general of people. Okay, I think that's all pile number 3. That was a very specific message. I hope it really resonated, because it was a very intense one. It was like strangely like splitting from the general like thing I give to people on my channel, but yeah, I hope it works and I hope it attracts a lot of people in a way, because I cannot control necessarily always what I can channel, but I can direct it. But when I stumble across such energy, it's like almost making me feel like I'm giving a personal reading, but then I'm like, yeah, I'm not giving a personal reading. Wake up, you're reading for a group of people, okay? And yeah, maybe I'm reading for a group of people, but thank you so much for being here and for listening 30 minutes to me talk. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Make sure to check out the other videos as well. Comment below that you're pile number 3, and thank you so much for all of the support that you give to my channel. Thank you in advance for all of the beautiful comments that I'm gonna wake up in the morning and receive because of my time zone. And if you want, you could donate. That's an option. I have to mention it. If you don't want to donate, that's okay. If you want, that's also very okay. And I'll be having the links in the comments and the description section. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in the future readings. Take care and stay safe.